Hey, I'm Neko Chikana, and with Voltron Season 5 coming out this week, I kind of wanted to do some analysis and maybe some speculation surrounding the Paladins of the Black and Red Lions. Mostly because I don't really have anyone that I can talk to about this show, so I might as well just shout it into the void that is the internet, right? Right. Anyway, let's get to it. So, as of right now, we know that Team Voltron has some type of hierarchy, with Black being the leader and Red pretty much being second in command. We don't know if the other three also have an order, but regardless, what we're going to focus on is the different relationships we've seen between Black and Red. First, there's Archon and Al4. Although we haven't really seen much of how they worked together while they were piloting the Lions, we do know that they were really close friends. Although Al4 created the Lions, he gave Zarkon the role of leader because he knew that Zarkon was better suited for that role than he was. Since they were good friends, I think it's fair to assume that they worked well together. Next, we have Shiro and Keith. We know for sure that these two are close. While we don't know their exact history, we do know that they know each other well enough for Keith to state that Shiro is like a brother to him. However, they never really acted like leader and co-captain. We didn't learn that Red was technically second in command until Season 3, and that's because it kinda wasn't important until then. Shiro was the automatic leader. Everybody immediately looked up to him for guidance. Keith, like the others, accepted that Shiro was in charge and never really challenged him. Keith kind of just fell in line, and that was fine for them as partners and for the team. I mean, Shiro definitely recognizes that Keith has some skills and potential since, he asked Keith to be his successor. Despite that, Shiro never asked Keith for any sort of help, and again, that was fine. It's just how they worked. But then we get Keith and Lance. They began their Voltron adventure with Lance having a heated one-sided rivalry with Keith, and Keith not really remembering who Lance even was. While they bickered a lot, they always made a great team when they were paired up on missions. And over time, they quietly dropped the rivalry aspect of their relationship. I mean, I guess it helps that Keith is no longer around for Lance to pick on. Either way, the point is, they make a great team when they put aside their differences and work together. When Keith was forced to be the new leader, we learned that the Red Lion is essentially a co-leader. Now it's important that we know this because Keith needed a co-leader. He didn't want to be in charge, but since he had no choice, he needed someone to kind of help him along. Lance, despite not being chosen by the Black Lion, has shown good leadership skills many times. He cares deeply about his teammates, wants them to succeed, to be safe, to the point that he sometimes sacrifices himself, and he's also a pretty good strategist. They balance each other out, and together they can lead Voltron pretty well. And now, Shiro and Lance. Here's where I just can't help but speculate. Now, like the rest of the team, Lance immediately looked up to Shiro for leadership. Shiro was Lance's idol. He looked up to Shiro. I'm sure he still does, but I feel like sooner or later, their partnership will become strained. Unlike the other three pairs I've talked about, these two don't have much bonding between them. Really, most of their interactions have just been Shiro scolding Lance and then complimenting him once? Shiro had no clue who Lance was when they met, and Lance held nothing but adoration for Shiro. That's not bad though, right? I mean, they'll probably end up having a relationship similar to Shiro and Keith's, where Shiro leads and Lance just goes along with it. Well, I think that's where they're gonna run into some problems. I feel like now that Lance has had a taste of leadership, he'll want to continue to be included in the decision making. That's not to say that Lance wants to overthrow Shiro so that he could be the leader, no. I just think that Lance wants to keep helping the team as co-pilot, but the way that Shiro leads doesn't seem like it gives much room for other people's opinions. He tends to have the final say in many decisions. While he is a great leader and has shown that his decision-making skills are top-notch, I imagine that Lance may start to butt heads with Shiro. Honestly though, Only time will tell whether Lance is fine with just following Shiro's orders, or if he'll become dissatisfied with Shiro not taking him and his ideas seriously. Thanks to all y'all that actually listened to my ramblings. If you liked the video, thank you? That'd be surprising considering it's my first time making a video and my editing software was frickin' Easy Movie Maker from the Microsoft App Store, and that I had to throw this together so very quickly since I got sick. You can probably still hear a bit of it. I can't really ask you to subscribe since this might only be a one-time thing, because if we're being honest, I'm actually not a very observant person and I'm not that good at critical thinking. So I don't really know if I could even do another video. But thanks all the same. Bye bye!